Good evening, Fran. How are you tonight?
Hi, Bob. Fine. How are you? Good. Thank you. Enjoy your dinner.
Thank you very much. Here we are at the gracious Mendenhall Inn, surrounded by the rolling hills of Pennsylvania, just over the state line from Delaware. This country inn par excellence has a dazzling Christmas display, and I'd like you now to meet our host of the evening, James Facciolo, the assistant manager here at Mendenhall Inn. Jim, glad of you to have us here tonight.
Well, I'm glad you could join us this evening, Bob. I was hoping that I would be able to take you on a tour of the establishment, and perhaps afterwards you can join us for dinner.
Oh, I thought you never asked.
First, though, would you sit down and enjoy a cocktail in front of the fireplace?
Well, that sounds good. Jim, how long has the Mendenhall Inn been in operation?
Well, under the present owner since 1976. But you're probably cognizant of the fact parts of this building were constructed in 1795. It's a historic landmark, and the lobby that we're sitting in right now is part of the original edifice. It was a mill up until, I believe, 20 years ago, when the first restaurateur came in here and established a French cuisine type operation.
Who's the present owner?
Mr. Robert DePaul. He's had, as I said, the establishment since 1976. He's a giant in the industry. He himself has been a restaurateur for, I believe, 25 years.
Now, at the Mendenhall Inn, exactly how would one get here from Delaware?
All right, you come up the Kennett Pike, which is Route 52, and we're 10 miles due north of Wilmington. Coming down from Philadelphia area, you would, of course, come down Route 1 and take a left on 52. We're 2 miles south of the intersection of Route 1 and 52.
And what are your hours, Jim?
All right, well, we're closed on Monday, but during the week we serve lunch from 11:30 to 2:30 every afternoon, and we open for dinner at 5 o'clock in the evening. Sunday we have restricted hours, so we serve only dinner, and that's from 3 to 8.
Do you honor major credit cards?
Every credit card, we take everything. American Express, of course, Diners Club, MasterCharge, everything.
Now, I noticed the valet parking when I came up. Is that a service that you offer all year round?
Yes, sir, it is, yes. And adds to, I believe, the ambience of the place, the customer satisfaction, all lends to the general idea that we're trying to propagate here.
Well, how would you describe generally the cuisine offered here at Mendenhall Inn?
It's basically very simple American cuisine, fine American cuisine. We concentrate on seafood, of course, but our sirloins and our ribs have been written up the Philadelphia Inquirer, the Evening Journal. It's renowned for those also, but the heart of our menu, of course, is the crab meat imperial. We have several dishes that use this as the foundation. Our stuffed mushrooms as an appetizer. Of course, we have the crab meat imperial itself as a dinner entree, the stuffed lobster tail, the stuffed oysters, the stuffed trout. All superb. I think you'll find that out later.
Well, I know we're going to get a chance to take a look at those items later on.
Yes, of course. The chef is preparing a little setup for you now.
Great. Now, I understand you also have an extensive wine list that includes most of your imports and domestics?
Yes, sir, we do. We have a pretty comprehensive wine list. We have, of course, all the renowned California wines. They're doing wonderful things in California, and we're right on top of it. We have the Mondavi selections, the BV Cabernet Sauvignon, the Pinot Chardonnays, all the fine domestic wines, and of course our imported wines are excellent. We also have some items that are not included on the wine list. La Tâche, Romanée Conti, these are the connoisseur's choice. They go approximately $150 a bottle. And of course we have plenty of my favorite, Dom Perignon.
Well, why don't we begin our tour? Where would you suggest we start?
Well, I would suggest that we start from the top and work our way down. Let's take a tour of the mill room right now.
Okay, very good. Oh, yes, I've seen that before. Why don't we go this way? This is a beautiful room, Jim. What room is this we're in?
This is what we call our mill room. Part of the original edifice. As you can tell, the exposed joists are typical of the architecture of over 150 years ago. It's more in keeping with the rustic setting of the Chester County countryside, I'd like to believe. It's open for a la carte dinner this evening, as you can tell. You can reserve tables specifically for this room. This room is in demand. During the week, usually, though, we confine the use of this room to banquets.
Speaking of banquet facilities, I see Linda Fackery, our banquet manager. Hi, Linda. How are you?
Fine.
What type of functions does Mendenhall Inn serve?
We can accommodate all types of banquet groups, wedding receptions, dinner dances, business meetings, conferences.
Now, your large banquet room, how many people does that hold?
We can accommodate up to 300 at one time.
And what types of decorations do you offer for, let's say, a wedding reception?
For a wedding, we do all the flowers and candles to match the bridesmaids, linens, colors to match the bridesmaids, like that.
Very nice. Thank you. Where shall we go next on our tour, Jim?
I'd like to take you into our main dining room, the Blue Room. Downstairs, it's amply decorated for the holiday season. I think you'll find that a very attractive room.
Great. Linda, I'll be talking to you later.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you now. Bye. Right this way. Joe, what room are we in now?
Hi, Bob. This is called the Blue Room. This is the showcase room of our restaurant, and it's the oldest room that we've been using. This room has been serving dinners, I believe, for the full 20 years. The other rooms are recent additions. As you can tell, we're decorated in the Christmas spirit here. The doves, the bird of peace, the poinsettias. This is Mr. DePaul's pride and joy.
That's it. Of course, the room, I notice, has a very nice fireplace over here. And a lower level over here where we have more diners.
Well, that's called our terrace area. That area is very much in demand. As you can tell, the larger tables all overlook the patio area, the outside courtyard. During the summer, that's a very beautiful area. We have the flowers growing. Of course, we serve cocktails out there. Lovely.
Joe, excellent service, of course, has always been famous here at Mendenhall Inn. What do you attribute that to?
We have a very competent and professional staff. It's a matter of just selecting the right waiter or waitress that blends in, that's in keeping with the spirit. They all have, I like to believe, a hospitable personality, and they're very competent. We just demand the best from our service personnel, and they have been able to fulfill.
Now, your lunch format, is it the same as your dinner?
No, it's more along the continental lines. We serve the melon with crab meat, of course, lighter cuisine. We have the stuffed mushrooms for lunch. We have a lighter crab imperial also. We have stuffed avocados, some rather unique lunch and entrees. Very nice.
I understand you also have a piano bar, right?
Yes, I do, sir. I was hoping you would mention that, and I'd like to take you there now.
What room is that in?
It's the tavern.
Okay, let's go to the tavern then. Jim, this is a beautiful room we're in now. Is this of course, the piano player is playing. What is his name, by the way?
George Lawrence. He's been with us for about 5 years.
You also have other entertainment you were telling me about before?
We have a violinist. He plays Friday and Saturday night, tableside. Saturday night he's accompanied by an accordionist. Very nice. Nice touch.
Can people also have dinner in the bar room here?
Yes, of course. As a matter of fact, on Saturday nights this room is reserved, specifically for its ambience. It's a horsey type decor, as you can see. It's more of a country type setting also.
I noticed the racetrack type decor. Whose idea was that?
Oh, it's Mr. DePaul's. So it's, as I said, it's in keeping with the Chester County countryside as the upstairs room is. It's along the same lines.
Well, my drink's just about finished. Why don't we head outside to one of those exterior areas that you were telling me about? Courtyard over here?
Yes, please.
Okay. That's good. Right over here. Jim, you have it very nicely decorated here for the holiday season.
Like we keep this, this is a seasonal decor. During the autumn, of course, we have a different decor scheme or whatever. We have a hayloft and everything out here. It's very nice. During the summer months, we serve cocktails out here also. It's a nice, quiet repast. Spend a couple of hours, perhaps before dinner.
And of course, this is just one of your two courtyards.
Yes, it is. Our main courtyard is on the other side of the hallway.
Well, where shall we go to now?
I'd like to take you to our garden room, Bob.
Oh, very nice. Thank you. Okay. Well, Jim, on our tour now, what room are we in?
All right, Bob, this is our garden room. It has a floral motif, as you can tell. We have several English floral prints. Nice touch. This room is a very popular room. It's open for dinner and lunch during the week. Occasionally, as this evening, we have special parties in here. Several groups entertain, well, fairly lavishly in this room. It's very comfortable for that type of setup.
I'll tell you, Jim, this tour has been very interesting, but right now I think I've worked up an appetite for some of the Mendenhall specialties. Why don't we journey over to the terrace room and take a look at some of the special Mendenhall dishes that you prepared for us before we retreat for our own little dinner, okay?
Very good, Bob.
Okay, right this way. Well, Jim, we've come to an end of a terrific tour of Mendenhall Inn, and set before us is a magnificent array of fine cuisine, very typical of Mendenhall Inn, and behind us is a beautiful courtyard decorated very nicely for the season. Tell us about this courtyard here. What's that item I see in the middle of that courtyard?
Oh, Bob, of course, we decorated the trees in keeping with the spirit of the season. There's a sleigh, as you noticed, sacked with the presents. I think they're all for the employees. We distribute them New Year's Eve. We celebrate a little differently here. But in keeping...
Yeah, why don't you tell us now about this fine array of dishes you brought before us. What do we have here?
All right, Bob, an excellent way to start your dinner is, this is a very hot commodity here, the mixed hors d'oeuvres for two.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that you can enjoy a couple of cocktails with. Of course, we have the stuffed mushrooms in it, the clams casino, a couple of deep-fried mushrooms in keeping with the spirit of Kennett Square, of course, the mushroom capital of the world.
Of course.
And, of course, some shrimp. Another appetizer, you see, is our stuffed mushrooms. Now, this is particularly in keeping with the spirit of Mendenhall, the Mushroom Company, and, of course, our famous crab imperial. That's a very strong item here, very popular. People enjoy that as an entree during the luncheon hours.
What type of crab meat do you use?
It's the lump crab meat. It's not the back fin. It's the giant jumbo lump.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult to come by, but we managed to find out. Now, for our entrees, we have three delightful entrees. We have the crab imperial, which is our most popular item, and variations of the crab imperial: the stuffed lobster tail, the jumbo South African lobster tail stuffed with the crab meat imperial, and of course the baked stuffed oysters stuffed with the crab imperial.
The odors are just wafting up. I'm really enjoying looking forward to digging into these shortly. Will you be joining us for dinner later?
Yes, I will, Bob. It's about that time. You don't see here, if people do not particularly enjoy seafood, of course we do carry, we do have a sirloin and a prime rib, which are superb. Been written up.
Now, of course, no dinner is complete without dessert. Perhaps we could have some... I see some desserts coming over now.
Yes, Bob. Now, this is our strawberries Mendenhall.
That's a mouthful.
It's a variation of strawberries Romanoff. Of course, you have the vanilla ice cream, the cremaille, the fresh strawberries on top, and of course our own whipped cream.
Mm-hmm. And coming up next, another fine dessert.
Peach Melba, ice cream, fresh peach, and the Melba sauce.
Mm-hmm. Fine standard. And what's this?
This is one of our famous parfaits. This is, of course, a creme de menthe parfait.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks very much. Now, before we go to dinner with the Focus Delaware staff here at Mendenhall Inn, I'd like to thank you and the management and Robert DePaul, of course, the owner of Mendenhall Inn, for providing us with a gift certificate for dinner for two, Jim.
Well, that's it. Two can enjoy dinner.
As a matter of fact, right now, we're going to give away that dinner for two, and all you have to do is answer this question. What Focus Delaware sponsor specializes in the service and repair of automobiles? I'll give you a hint. It's located on French Street. Again, what Focus Delaware sponsor specializes in the repair and service of automobiles. The hint is it's located on French Street in Wilmington, Delaware. Now, if you know the answer, call 652-4424. If you're the 5th caller with the correct answer, you'll win yourself a gift certificate for dinner for 2 to Mendenhall Inn, compliments of Robert DePaul, the owner, and I think you'll enjoy that very, very much. And now, we're going to go to some short messages, but we'll be back with more of Focus Delaware, so don't go away.